Tonight, from a secret location somewhere in the South Pacific, broadcasting from Big Ben's Bell End, a very important announcement from Dame Edna Average. This is her address to the nation.
I'm not sure about this dress. No, I'm not. They can see Can you see my cleavage, darling? You can. Are we live? Hello, possums, and here we are. I'm bringing this live from bunker in the middle of nowhere. Edna's special pandemic bunker. And I'm here with some of the world leaders. They're all here. Putin, Trump's here. And I've got Boris on the way. Don't worry about him. He's fine. He'll be absolutely fine. Looked after by all of my staff. Yes, it's been a very troublesome couple of weeks for everybody, I know, and we're all trying to get through this, but I'm going to give you some little tips. Some little tips on how to get through this pandemic, lockdown, lock-in situation that we all find ourselves in. And there's many things that we can do to relieve the boredom and to relieve the boredom of others. So I've been thinking about this, and while we're all sort of cooped up because of this terrible disease, the coronavirus, we're all stuck in. We can't really do anything, can we? We can't really do a lot. It's all a little bit frustrating, really, isn't it? And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I don't think we got a better time on our hands than right now. The vast majority of us, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there on the front line and all the other people that are doing a marvellous job keeping this whole country slowly ticking over while the rest of us have a right old jolly time off, don't we? And we're having this time that we've never had before. Time that we can do all the things that we've never done and never wanted to do either, really. But this is important to remember. So while we're there, stuck in our little homes and hiding away from this coronavirus, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even think that if Carlsberg did viruses, it would be any better than this. Would it? It couldn't be, could it really? 2 months off. 2 months off, as I say, apart from those wonderful people who are doing that marvellous job on the front line. Let's not forget them. Let's never forget them, ever. And if anybody's going to get an award, apart from me and all the other brilliant leaders in the world, it should be them. But while we're indoors, while we're stuck, let's think about all those other things we can do. And here's the top 10 tips that I can suggest to you to get you through this, to get us through to the other side. So number 1, jobs. Do some jobs. Go around the house, find those jobs you didn't ever want to do, like clean the bin. Clean the bin. It needs cleaning. It's needed cleaning for years, and you hate that job. It's really rank. But do it, and do it now. Get out there and get your bin out and give it a good old jet wash. You'll like it. And don't forget those little things in the cupboard. You know those cupboards that you got all that food in, and you just bring all that food out now. You've got so much food, you don't know what the bloody hell to do with it. But get all that food out and have a look at all those little corners. Have a look in the corner. You'll find crumbs. You might need those later, so don't throw them away. Put them in a little pot. Put them in the fridge, and you never know, you might be able to make a biscuit out of them later on when there's nothing left in the shops. But that's later on. We're fine right now, and we're going to be fine. Don't you worry about that. I'm making sure all of my minions are out there doing their bit. So jobs, round the house, clean, sweep, do all that. Garden, I mean, hello. Those of you who were lucky enough to have a garden, and I've got a lovely lady garden, let me tell you. And keep that manicured as well, ladies. You never know when you're going to need it. So make sure your real back actual garden is tidy, and always keep up the lady garden, folks. Tip number 2. Dress up. I don't know why people would even do this, but apparently there's a lot of pleasure in dressing up. Seriously, there is. I find it hard to believe. This little number is just something I sleep in. I've just got up a few minutes ago, but some people like to make themselves look better and put a bit of an effort on. So I'd suggest you do that tonight. Just get a nice little outfit on, make yourselves look good, have a shower, bit of bit of aftershave even, gentlemen and ladies if you like, and make yourselves look and smell nice. And then treat yourself. Go out for the night. Go out for the night. Go to the lounge. Go to the lounge as if it's a bourgeois boutique or a restaurant or anything, or a lounge. It could be just a lounge. But just go in there and enjoy yourself and just tie yourself up, make yourself feel good. It's a really, really good tip. I might try it later, to be honest. I might have a go at it. So yes, we move on to tip number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, tip number 3. And we've been doing this over the last few nights, and it's getting a little bit repetitive, but I don't mind. I like repeating myself over and over and over and over again. But anyway, it's called FaceTime, FaceTube, something my boobs are coming out. But yes, it's Skyping, all of those things, and these funny little apps nowadays. You can get all of your faces on all of your friends. I think up to 8 people or more on some other apps, and entertain yourself by putting wigs on each other and making yourself look ridiculous. And it is good fun. Apparently, it's marvellous. I need to have a go at it later, but I was a little busy this afternoon trying to hold the world together with these important announcements. But yes, get yourselves together. And even last night, a good friend of ours, Mr. Paul Kimberley, had his own rave. He had his own rave in his house, and he's a very good DJ. And he played these tunes, and we all danced about in the kitchens and in my bunker. And I was there just enjoying life again. I had a little drink. And I must admit, I would do that if I was you. Share your experiences with each other. It's a marvellous thing, this technology stuff. Tip number 4. Watch Netflix. It's easy. It's an easy one. You don't have to do a great deal with this one. All you do is you get that little remote thing and you point it at the big screen on the TV and you just click the button and there it is. Hours and hours and weeks, and literally weeks, which we need, of the same show over and over and over and over again. Little bits of storyline in and out of it, and going on and dragging on for a whole weeks and weeks of it. For those of you who haven't seen Game of Thrones, and I haven't seen one episode, this is the time for you. Apparently everybody's been going on about it forever and doing my blooming head in, to be honest. Although it did make me a little bit interested when everybody said it was just full of sex and violence, which of course is right up my street. Well, not Norm so much anymore, but I tried to get him involved in a little bit of that. But I'm sidetracking. That's another tip. That could be tip number 11 that there's another tip. Make sure you've got enough battery and enough memory to do anything like this. So I am going to check in the future. That's tip number 12. There's an extra couple in there for you for free. Tip number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Tip number 5. Get creative. Get creative and play some games. Play some games you haven't played before, like Monopoly, like Scrabble. You can do all these wonderful things as long as you've got a partner, of course. It's a bit difficult if you're on your own, like I was last night, until Donald turned up and Putin, and we had a brilliant game of charades. But yes, it's a great way to spend the time and go back to the old way of playing games, interaction, talking with each other. This is a strange time, but important to remember all the messages that we're getting while we're in this time. They're standing still. the peace and quiet, the time on our hands. Never before have we had this time. Like I say, get that bin out and do it. Play some games. Easy, all very, very easy to do. If you've got games, that is. If not, make a game. How about that? Make a game and do some painting. There you go, there's another tip for you. Paint. Be creative. Get the crayons out. Draw. Pictionary. That's a good game. Don't draw or paint on your walls. That would be foolish. Only an idiot would just paint all over their wall. Do it on canvas so that you can remove it and put it back whenever you wish. Because let's face it, some of these things that you're going to come out with over these next 2 weeks are not going to be able to be displayed to anyone. Tip number 6. Cook. Quite simple. Cook. Get a cookbook out, go to your cupboards, look what you've got, and cook it. Quite simple. Although some of you might have some unusual ingredients, let's say, in your cupboards, use Google. Type in what ingredients you have and it will tell you what to make. Honestly, I've been doing it for a little while with my children when I was back at home before I had to flee to the bunker and leave them out there with all the peasants. But no, they used to make my dinner and we were enjoying it for a while. I was enjoying it for a while, and then we all got fed up of beans on toast, and I went back to having my dinner cooked for me by my servants, and it was much better, but I recommend it. Get the cookbooks out, enjoy discussing it, making plans of what you're going to cook and how you're going to cook it, and make your children serve it to you like waiters. Do it, they'll love it, and if it works, you never know, you might have a couple of slaves there for life. We could even start the Great British Bake-Off, the Great British Corona Bake-Off. Get the cookbooks out and get those children of yours working for you a little bit, because mine aren't. Number 7, and this is where the little bit of serious bit comes in. Contact your neighbours. Make time for all of your lovely neighbours that are around your area. I live in a little bunker area, and Putin's over there and Trump's over there. I've got a little shed out the back for Boris. We're all in here, but you know, I've got to keep a check on them and make sure they're all right. I mean, it's very important, especially if you've got elderly neighbours. Elderly neighbours are important. Just put a little note, pop it through everybody's door with your number on it. Wash your hands before and after doing all of this, and let them know your number. Let them know your number. Let them know you're thinking of them. And you make a WhatsApp group and you ask them if they've got any loo roll because you've run out. Because old people tend to have a good old stash at the back of the cupboard or in the airing cupboard, some people. So get hold of them. You never know when you might need a little bit of extra loo roll. And believe me, I need a lot of loo roll if anybody wants to donate any, because I've got Donald Trump here, and not only does he Trump all the time and he does his normal number 2 activities, but he talks a lot of as well. So I'm getting through loo roll like you wouldn't believe. So anywhere, anybody out there with extra loo roll, Dame Edna Average, bunker number 1. And that's, it'll get to me. They all know where that is. Number 8. Join the NHS volunteers. Do it. I don't know. You might not get a call up. They've had that many people, but who knows? This is a ridiculous event that nobody's ever experienced before, and it's a humanity crisis. It's a human crisis for humankind, and maybe these are the lessons we need to learn. We need to pull together and help where we can. We might be able to, I don't know, drive stuff. We might be able to pick stuff up for somebody or drop somebody off. We might be able to deliver stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that needs doing out there, and I'm no expert, although I know you think I am, but I'm no expert that stuff needs doing, and people need to do that stuff. So if you can do a bit of stuff at any time, just ask, volunteer, put your name in the hat, and who knows? you might just be getting some old dear, some loo roll or something, and that'll be just marvellous. That'll be unbelievable scenes around the country. Number 9, oh, here's a good one. And I don't know, I tried this before with my Norm, but pretend you're going to the hairdressers. I heard on the Jeremy Vine, did you get that on the grapevine, on the Jeremy Vine show, that hair is important for people's well-being. But understanding this is very difficult if you're not a lady with an unbelievably wonderful hairdo like myself. But if you are at home and you're struggling to look in the mirror because your perm's just gone a little bit flat or your colours of your real hair starting to show, do not fear. Why don't you pretend you're going to a hairdresser's? Get your husband to invite you in, book an appointment. He'll wash your hair for you, or your partner, or your wife, or whoever has this condition that they are worried about their hair. Get them to come in like a proper appointment, wash their hair, talk to them. Talk to them like a hairdresser would. Ask them things just like a hairdresser would, like, where have you been on holiday this year? Been anywhere nice today? Been anywhere nice this week? And they'll just probably come out with some of the most hilarious answers you've ever heard. Slumberland on Sea is a good one. Everybody's on that one at the moment. But do it. It'll break up the day and make it once a week. Why not? Let's make some of these things once a week. Make a rota. There's a good tip. There's tip number 13. I'm throwing them on the back of this, all for free. Nobody benefits from this whatsoever. Apart from you there looking at my boobs. You know, I can see everybody watching this, you know. I've got this special app from the Russian military. And not only can you see me, but I can see every single person that's watching me now. And you, sir, yes, you. Yeah, you picking your nose. I can tell you're... Okay, he's not picking his nose. It's not his finger. Can you delete this? Get rid of him. That's better. Where was I? So we're on to tip number 10. Yes, this is it. The final tip of how to survive this coronavirus pandemic situation. And I think I'm about to run out of time again, so I'll make this quick. Avoid being an early drinker. Avoid drinking at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Why not? Well, you haven't got work, have you? You haven't got school. The kids haven't got school. They haven't got work. You haven't got work. You can stay up till 2 if you want to. So what's the problem with having a drink at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon? What is the problem? People start to look at you and they start to shake their heads and they're going, are you seriously starting to drink in the afternoon at this time? And you go, listen, I haven't even stopped drinking. So that's my top tip. Don't even stop. Just have a great time while you're out there enjoying yourselves and doing your bins and your cupboards and your garden, your front garden, your lady garden, your back garden if you really got one. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy this time. This is Edna's top tips for surviving the pandemic situation. And I hope we'll all get through this and look back at it and say we did ourselves proud. We did ourselves proud. And remember, folks, if you're going out, remember your PPE. Remember your protective personal equipment. Wash your hands when you go and when you come back in. And yeah, don't forget, wear your protective equipment. This is Dame Edna Average, on behalf of the world, over and out.
That was a world message brought to you by Dame Edna Average on behalf of all the world leaders. Donald Duck, Mr. Pukin, Boris Becker, Who Hung Jim, and Angela Meatmarket. Thank you and good night.